Okay, to solve this equation by taking square roots, we're going to have to get the x squared all by itself. So we're going to subtract the 1 away from the left-hand side there. Once we do that, we only have 7x squared left on the left-hand side. That's equal to a negative 54. Then all we have to do is divide both sides by 7 there. 7's will cancel and we're left with just 1x squared on the left is equal to negative 54 over 7. Then to finally get the x all by itself, we'll have to take the square root of both sides. Don't forget a plus and minus on the right side. The square root of the x squared just leaves us with x is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 54 over 7. Now that's not the final form we should leave it in. So let's go ahead and get it in the correct form. We have the square root of negative 54 over 7. We're going to bring the radical down to both the top and bottom of the fraction, so bringing it down to the numerator, we have the square root of negative 54. Bring it down to the denominator, we have the square root of 7. We're going to go ahead now and rationalize the denominator here. That means get rid of the square root in the denominator. And the way we do that is to multiply the denominator, the square root of 7, times itself. That will leave us just with 7 in the denominator. Of course, if we do something to one side of the fraction, we have to do that to the other side to keep it to still have the same value. Okay? So we multiply the square root of 7 times the square root of 7 on the denominator. That just leaves us with 7. The square root of negative 54 times the square root of 7, well, we multiply what's in both the square roots together. So that'd be the square root of negative 378. Now this has been rationalized. We don't have a radical in the denominator. However, we can simplify the square root. So sometimes there's a little bit more work we have to do in simplifying the square root that exists. So what we can factor out of the negative 387 is 9. That's what we can factor out. That's the only perfect square we can factor out. So if we factor out a 9, we're left with 9 times negative 42. And of course, I could, if I want to, break off a negative 1 off the 42 as well. So I could write that as 9 times 42 times a negative 1 if I want to, all over the number 7. And then taking the square root of everything on the numerator, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 42 will just remain that way. Okay? And then the square root of a negative 1, we've already defined that to be I. And of course that's all over 7. And then we can go ahead and just put the plus and minus there. And we can have x is equal to the plus or minus 3 square root of 42i all over 7.